Hey folks, Segasonicfan here, talking about a cool upgrade you can do for your old portable vacuum cleaner. These things are great, but as any owner of one of these will tell you, the batteries die very quickly. They use old school Nike batteries, at least most of them that have been around. And even if they don't, I mean, they wear out. They really wear out because there's a big chunky motor in here. And if we look at the rating here, if it shows up, we got 15.6 volts and 125 watts. And it's a lot of juice on a battery that's supposed to fit in this little compartment here. So in addition to the batteries wearing out, of course, they're very heavy with the battery in there. And, definitely not the most comfortable as a result. Anyway, here's some cool upgrades you can do to change all that and hopefully get a second life out of your old portable vacuum cleaner. I really like the Shark brand for vacuum cleaners, by the way. And they're not sponsoring this or anything, but just like, personal favorite of mine is this particular one is quite nice. The filters are super cheap, easy to replace, easy to find, and it's got a lot of power when it has it. So a long time ago, I threw out all the batteries. They all went bad. This is probably 12 years old now. And I attached a cord here to the motor to a big chunky power supply that I found. And you could buy these, of course, be a little pricey, but you can also just try to find something that matches. And this does 12 to 17. It's an adjustable, so I have it set at like 15, and it'll do 110 watts max, which is a little bit lower. I guess it's typical at 12. But I mean, this thing is very, very powerful. It's like extremely loud, as a vacuum cleaner should be. And even though this is technically underpowered based on the max ratings on the device, it's served me well for like many years. I did this hack a long time ago. It's pretty easy to do. You can see it's all dusty in here now, but looks like I didn't even use heat shrink tubing. This was so long ago. Just, red and black for the motor here, for the power switch. I guess I had it rigged up to you want to have it rigged up to the power switch right there. And done and done. Well, I'm going to be improving this today a little more since I have used this for so long and it served me so well. What I'm going to be putting in is a proper barrel jack. Now you want to make sure this is one with really heavy duty contacts like this guy so that it'll take that 110 watts without any fuss. So I'm going to put a barrel jack just because I really find myself wanting to unplug this thing even when I'm just using it or putting it away. It's kind of a luxury, extra thing that would just be kind of nice to have. And I was originally thinking about putting a TX60 connector on there, but those are just so hard to unplug. And the barrel jack, over time I learned to appreciate these more and more, is they have 360 degrees range of motion, which is extremely important when you've got a device you're moving around. So whatever's in here, whatever's socketed will turn, which will of course help the cable and extend the longevity of it. And then lastly, I'm starting to become a big fan of these little things, which are little roller bearing wheels, essentially like casters, like fake cheap casters. And my only other gripe about this is like having to sort of hold it up while I'm kind of dragging it. It's still heavy even without the batteries. And boy, I think this is going to be a cool upgrade. I'm going to put these like roller caster things on the bottom here, and I can already feel just how nice that's going to be. And I'm going to put one on the back as well, just two like so. Because it's not a flat base, I can't very easily put four on the bottom. I mean, I could try, but I don't think it's really worth it. So I will have to kind of keep it, center. But I think that's fine because it'll kind of fall to one side, right? If I leave it, if I only have two on there. But I think that's fine because when are you not going to be holding this? That's the point of a vacuum is you're aiming it, you're holding it, you're moving it. So I'm going to give that a shot. One quick thing about the dust collection kind of compartment here. This is the one flaw of this design, and it's not terrible, but it is an engineering flaw, and I do like to point those out. It's part of the fun of reverse engineering. There is, and this is actually one of the coolest features about this, but also designed in a flaw way. Ooh, there's that dust. So this thing has an adapter, which is, one of these little roller things, which is pretty cool. If you open this up, though, what's really nifty is there's an actual motor inside here with a belt. And it actually turns that. And you're like thinking, I just thought it was passive. How is it actually turning that belt? It's really quite cool. There's actually positive and negative terminals here. How ridiculous is this? That go to here, and then they have two wires that run to the front of this thing. And you can see them there and there. So there's actually electrical contacts on the front of this. I did not know that for so long. And it's really nifty. The one sort of design flaw, though, is that they did not make the cavity here, the compartment that has those two wires, isn't fully separated and sealed off from all the dust and crap that you're collecting and little pebbles and stuff, and, you know, just regular cleaning. And so you can see I tried to put, God, is that only hot glue? I really should have put caulking on this a long time ago. Yeah, I think that's hot glue and not caulking. Maybe I'll do that today if I'm feeling adventurous. But yeah, it really should have a strong sealant, like a rubber gasket sealant, or, you know, or just sealed off entirely. Now, there's a number of ways you can do that. It's a little tedious, though. Maybe I won't do it just today, but maybe another day. Anyway, if you don't have that, which the engineers did not do, then little pebbles and things get in this compartment with the wires, and it's just like annoying because you think you've emptied all the bits, but then it's like rattling and stuff. You hear that? So it's like, yeah, that's kind of a engineering flaw. Not a big one. The thing works great. It's worked great for many years. It's got it where it counts. Nice strong motor, easy to replace, cheap filters, and you know, lots of power. So what more can you ask for? Well, wheels and a barrel jack plug to an external power supply. We're going to do it. We're going to make this even more awesome. Stay tuned for part 2. This is Segasonicfan, signing out. Hey folks, Segasonicfan here, back with part 2 of my Shark vacuum cleaner hack. And I just wanted to show the inside here and what we've got going on. Vacuum cleaners are usually very simple beasts, and this one is no exception. We've got our 2 contacts here, which are actually tied directly to the motor, interestingly enough. And we've got, this is to drive our little tiny motor in the belt kind of pickup. This guy has 2 things. It goes on the front, and it powers a little tiny motor in there, as I mentioned in part 1, which is really cool. And then we've got 2 contacts here for charging the batteries. And then we've got our motor, of course, big, you know, actually a little smaller than I was thinking, but it's still really nice, does the job. And, you know, our little suction dealio. And then we've got, of course, the on switch as well. So what I do notice here that's kind of interesting is there is not any flyback diode to protect the motor. So I might actually add something for that if I can find a diode that's high enough power. And maybe a fuse. I'll put a fuse in here as well. That really can't hurt. I've got some inline fuses. So put a little bit of protection stuff in here. I'm kind of surprised I didn't have that already. But I worked on this so long ago. Who knows? Maybe there was a circuit board in here that I took out. Probably was for, well, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm also going to do a little bit of rust remover on this spring for the power switch. And lastly, I'm going to use an air compressor, dust everything out, clean it up real nice. More to come. Hey folks, Segasonicfan here, back with my Shark vacuum cleaner hack upgrade. This video is going to have a lot of parts to it, so maybe I'll edit this one. We'll see. But I wanted to show the next steps I've been doing. Pretty happy with it. I've got my inline fuse here. This has a 10 amp fuse because it's a 8.5 amp something power supply, and 10 amps the closest I had for that. And this wire is unconnected. It goes to the switch up here. I think it's like a ground. Maybe it's a ground that switches. Or it's got to be a positive rail. Anyway, it's for the charger circuit, which I'm no longer using because I've taken the battery out. I'm making this work off a external supply. Really convenient thing. I was actually able to just slot my own barrel jack in here that matched perfectly. I had to replace the old one for the charger because it didn't match these standard 2.1 millimeter barrel ports, but now this one does. Went ahead and spliced in this cable here for my power supply that I'm repurposing. You might wonder what this resistor is up here. That's to present a phantom load to the power supply so that it doesn't create a very annoying sound, which it does when it doesn't have a load. Just a quirk of the power supply I'm using. And then I added a flyback diode. Now this isn't like super necessary because this motor isn't being turned off and on rapidly with a PWM pulse, but it's still really good to do just in case there is some voltage left over in the coil there. It's good to dissipate that. This one's pretty overkill, and it's got a heatsink, which is also probably overkill since it's not pulsing. But hey, you know, it works, and I'm happy with it. Better to go too far instead of not enough. And that's what I had in my part spin, so there we go. What else can I say? If the flyback pops, there's this fuse in place. So if the diode shorts for any reason, the fuse will pop, and that'll protect the circuit. However, I don't see how the flyback, I'm very confident that's not going to have any problems. It's a 20 amp flyback diode, so it'll absorb a lot of surge. And yeah, let's turn it on. Nice and powerful. This extra red cable is it's probably for illuminating that LED actually, which is not super necessary. That's the charging LED. That's what that is. Interesting that I don't see a ground cable. I might have cut that previously. But that's what that is. That's a charging indicator. Huh, okay. I might tie that to the power rail if I want to have a power input indicator, which might be nice. And after that, I'm going to put the case on and I'm going to start drilling in those roller wheels. And then I'll be able to start cleaning. Oh, I am going to use my air compressor too to clean this all out really nice. There's a lot of dust in here over the years. But so far, so good. So trying to figure out what that mystery extra red wire was without a ground, it turns out there's actually some circuitry in the handle here. And I believe, unless I'm mistaken, this is actually a little mini flyback diode. So that's what was in there before. And it's a good thing I added my own because I don't think that one was connected to anything because I had removed the ground wire going to the motor. So yeah, there's a ground wire and a red wire for the charging circuit. This is actually the charging circuit. It's super old school basic, couple of resistors here. And no wonder those NiCad batteries didn't last and don't last in these vacuum cleaners. There's no real charging going on. I mean, there is, but it's a dumb charger. So I'm going to take out those resistors, just put in one more ground wire. That'll give me a nice like power available kind of LED light. And then we'll get going here. All right, so here I am back with my Shark vacuum cleaner and all the upgrades installed. And I've got an LED light, which works as an indicator that the power is plugged in. Also works as a phantom load for the power supply I'm using, which makes a weird noise if I don't have a phantom load applied to it. I was able to use a barrel jack here that this actually has a barrel jack already built in, but it doesn't fit your standard 2.1 millimeter plug. So fortunately I had one that's a typical right angle PCB mount barrel jack. I was able to slide that in there and now I have a perfect fit. Went ahead and also upgraded, or not upgraded, but also spliced the cable here for the charger. All right, so here I am with everything finished for the upgrades internally. I still have to add the little roller ball wheels. It'll be the last thing I add. But you see I've got an inline fuse here. It's rated at 10 amps to protect the motor. And I've got a flyback diode, which is rated at 20 amps, which is really overkill, even as a heatsink. Really won't need the heatsink and might not be that necessary because the motor's not being pulsed in any way. It doesn't have a duty cycle. It's just on or off. But it's nice to have a flyback diode just to be on the safe side. And turns out the charging circuit was actually up in the handle. It had some dummy load diodes and resistors like this, high wattage resistors. So it was a really primitive charging circuit, and no wonder it destroyed the NiCad batteries before too long. Went ahead and just bypassed that so I could reach the LED directly when power is applied after going through the fuse. And then I went ahead and also added a diode here for the inline connector for the motor that drives this little guy. That's actually not a passive motion from the air suction. That is actually voltage going to a small motor in there. So that's kind of cool. It's a little beat up. I might need to get another one of those. But yeah, everything's working, good to go. I'm going to dust it out, put it together, put the roller bearing things on the bottom, and then do some cleaning with it. All right, now it's time to fix this text that's on my little guy. All right, now it's time for the big test. All right, so here we are with the new upgraded Shark corded vacuum cleaner, and now it's time for the big test. Go ahead and plug everything in, and you'll see here I made a big mess with my wood saw here, my flooring saw, because I left the bag open by accident, and then I was changing the blade. And that's what started me off on this big hack today. You'll see I got the nice roller bearing down here to let it slide, and let's see how it does. Much easier now. That's so much easier now that I've got the little roller bearing. Wow. Because now I'm not having to carry the weight of this. I just slide it forward. Not bad at all. Let's see what happens if we try our little motorized deal. That one I do have to hold it up. But yeah, it does seem to get. It does seem to get the little extra bits. So you got your power indicator, which lets you know when it's plugged in. And I'd say that's a big success. Have fun hacking your vacuum cleaners. Feel free to leave me some messages below if you found this helpful and stuff. I love hearing from folks. And you can, I don't care about any sort of bells or clickies or whatever. Just have fun. Hack things, repair things, upcycle, recycle. That's it for this video. This is Segasonicfan, signing out.